Dawn breaks quietly over Masienze village in Kakamega County, where artisanal miners gather the shafts for another day underground. Before the drills roar to life, breakfast is served, a safety briefing is held, and a prayer is offered. Then one by one, men descend nearly 80 feet into narrow shafts, chasing gold hidden beneath layers of rock and soil. And as the men vanish underground, another workforce remains above it. One, often unseen, yet forms a critical part of the mining process: the women. They begin processing material brought up from previous excavations. The work starts with sorting, separating usable ore from waste material. The selected ore is then taken for crushing, reducing large rocks into smaller fragments before being processed further. Once crushed, the material is spread out to dry. After drying, it is washed repeatedly through sluices, allowing heavier mineral concentrates to separate from lighter sediment. It is a manual process, repetitive and physically demanding. And here in Masienze village, much of that work is carried out by women. Our journey through Kakamega County eventually led us here, a colonial-era mining site in Masienze village. Today, dozens depend on it for their livelihoods, but years ago the picture looked very different. One shaft, a handful of miners, and constant battles against water that repeatedly flooded excavations and brought operations to a standstill. And at the center of that story is Vali Niva, a teacher by profession, and one of the co-owners of this land alongside her husband Niva Mahiva.
And Mofunza for 7 years. Then it reached a point where I came to this place. And nilikuwa nasikia tu story ya mining.
At the time, mining was simply something she watched from a distance. She would visit, observe, then return to her normal life, until one day the mine gave her something she did not expect, an opportunity.
Since we are the owners of the shamba, so kuna mgao tulikuwa tunapewa. So there's a time hapa penye tumeketi, nilipewa mchanga. Then mchanga yenyewe after kuprocess, yani ilibidi nitafute mtu anisaidie nini kuprocess, I got 80,000 shillings. Then nikakuja kujiuliza, if at all mtu unaweza pata hii 80,000 shillings na ni tax free. Si kama walimu utole hizo vitu zote nini whatever. This 80,000 shillings tax free and clean money. So mimi nikaamua quit.
But success did not arrive immediately. There were flooded shafts, months without meaningful returns, and moments when many thought the venture would fail. Then came outside investors searching for remnants of colonial mining operations. The interaction exposed them to new equipment and new methods. Slowly, things began to change. The flooded shafts were drained. Operations expanded.
Hii place yote ilikuwa bushy. It was very bushy. Nikakuja nikatafuta watu wakaanza kuclear hivyo na nikipata kidogo ikinisustain. That time ilikuwa tu kidogo ikinisustain. Tukipata kidogo tuna save, tukaanza kupurchase vitu zetu. Then hapo ndio penye tulianza kugrow.
And together with her husband, Valiant helped transform informal activity into a more organized system. That effort will eventually lead to the formation of the Moneybag Cooperative, a structure that today brings together miners, processors and support workers under one network.
We had to look for women, wamama, whereby wanaweza wafanya nini? Wanaweza wapikie chakula mchana, wanakula. And asubuhi kuna ule mama mwenye anatengeneza uji na chapati pia anafanya nini?
And as operations expanded, so did opportunities for women. Women like Dina Hayeli.
Nilikuwa nikifanya kazi Kisumu Na vita ilipoanza hapo Kondele, ikabidi tutoroke vile wengine walikuwa wanatoroka, nikarudi nyumbani. Sasa niliporudi nyumbani na ikawa sijazoea maisha ya kuishi nyumbani.
As a single mother of 3, survival was never optional. It was necessary. She moved between small jobs in search of survival, but income remained unstable.
Nilipokuwa sasa nimeanza kuwa vizuri, unajua nayo maisha ni magumu kidogo. Nilikuwa sasa niko vizuri, naishi kwa nyumba ya 8,000, tena nikawa ninalipa, watoto wanakula vizuri. Pakatokea tena ugumu wa maisha. Waizi wakaniingilia na wakabeba kila kitu.
Then one day, Tanzanian miners who regularly eat at her hotel introduced her to a world she knew nothing about, gold. And over time, it gave her something she had long struggled for, stability.
Ilikuwa hata nimeshindwa kulipa nyumba ya 2,000. Sasa hii naweza lipa. Kwa hivyo si ni kazi nzuri. Kwa sababu sasa siwezi kumlemea mtu. Ama watoto wangu hawawezi kwenda kuombaomba kwa milango za wengine.
For Esna Skavaye, the journey was different. She started as a tea leaves plucker, but the destination remarkably similar.
Nilianza 2013, nikaiacha 2020. Na mapato ya huko ilikuwa kwa siku ni 250 ama 200.
Then mining entered her life, at first occasionally, then permanently. And perhaps most importantly, it changed how she viewed herself.
Nikilinganisha majani na dhahabu imenitoa mbali. Kwa sababu hiyo wakati hata sikuwa na nyumba, kwa dhahabu imefanya nimejenga. Watoto wako shuleni, wanakula, wanavaa.
Across Masienze, stories like this are becoming common. Women arriving from different walks of life. Some former teachers, tea pickers, traders, house helps, and many of them mothers. Finding opportunity in a sector that for decades was largely viewed as a man's world. And while men continue descending into shafts each morning in search of gold-bearing ore, much of what determines its value happens here, on the surface, in the hands of women. Sorting, crushing, drying, washing, refining, turning sediment into income and labor into livelihoods. They say gold is found beneath this ground, but here in Masienze, the true value is revealed above it, while men descend into mines and riverbeds in search of the precious metal. Women patiently wash, sort, and refine it, transforming what is merely mined into something worth selling. And in a county where mining is a family enterprise, perhaps the story is not just about who finds the gold, but who gives it its worth. Ashley Atieno, NTV, Masienze, Kakamega County.